I'm going to do this as quick as I can. It was my best attempt from 3 days ago to summarise what I thought was going to be said this morning, so I'll go through it fairly quickly. The meeting today is just the first of many, we hope, for those who decide to go ahead. And it's hoped that by bringing the principal players together, we'll kick-start this process. Further meetings will be necessary to discuss the many issues that you'll face as part of the process. And there will be help from the National Monument Service for those who choose to proceed, and also from Michaelmas Ireland, and that we will be available for your initial meetings if required, and then probably later on, if you have technical questions, we will of course help. So the purpose of the meeting this afternoon is to get to meet the other interested parties in relation to the site or sites that you're interested in, to work with the facilitator who is being provided this time by Michaelmas Ireland towards answering some of the most important questions that are in front of you. And most importantly, to appoint a chairperson who will take the lead in this and at least the next meeting, so that there is a process into which you are involved if you decide to go ahead. And we also want to establish the views of both the local authority and the local groups on the desirability or not of having a World Heritage Site. Just a few of the things that would have been mentioned this morning is that understanding outstanding universal value is a key to processing a nomination, and examining successful nominations from similar types of sites can be most useful. This value is something that is of world significance and is to be presented to the world and protected by this nation on behalf of humanity as a whole. There needs to be a description of the site explaining how intact it is and detailing the views to and from it. The description should also include any scientific research into the site and a statement of how it is intended to protect the OUV into the future. There's a wealth of information online. I'm not going to go through all this again, but whc.unesco.org has a wealth of material in there if you're on the old internet. The core area and buffer zone thing is something that you're going to have to deal with relatively early in the process, and just to re-emphasise the fact that the core area must contain all of the site which possesses outstanding universal value, and this can be done all in one area, or there can be a series of core areas. It has to be actively managed in order to preserve the OUV of the site. And the buffer zone is a zone where the core is protected by making sure that developments in the surrounding area do not impinge negatively on the outstanding universal value of the site. One of the key decisions to be made by any of you or any group of you is roughly the size of these zones. This is a picture of the core area and the buffer zone for the Boyne Valley. I'm not going to go through that, we went all that before. The World's Heritage Sites and local governments. The sites are already on the tentative list, so now is probably the time to state the local authorities' attitude to protection of the OUV. So the preservation of the OUV of even tentative sites can be an objective of the county development plan. Sites should be mentioned in county development plans, and attitude to protection and planning should be stated. County development plans should also state that all future local area plans, council zone schemes and outside developments will have to take into account the impact on the OUV of the sites on the tentative list. And this is something that you can do straight away if that's the way you are going. The meeting is going to be facilitated by a person from Michaelmas Ireland, and there will be a member of staff from the National Monument Service there as well. But their role is not to be active in the whole proceedings, and they're basically supposed to be sitting quietly and listening and only express their opinions in relation to matters on fact and law, etc. A group with special expertise in relation to UNESCO will be available if any question needs to be clarified. So if anyone is asked a question at the meeting and they do not know the answer, there will be people around who almost certainly do, and they can be produced to answer those more difficult questions. The meeting will last about an hour and a quarter. At the end of the meeting, the person from National Monuments' only real function at the meeting is to ask the chair to agree a short description of the meeting, so that a general quick picture of how each site is progressing will be available to all before they even start the question and answers. This brief summary will be given by Brian Duffy of all of the meetings, and so that's more or less where we are. And I'm going to give you a couple of final points and then a few things about where we're going in terms of physically going. my final points are to remember that this is a UNESCO process, not an Irish process, and it will be judged in an international arena and not by Irish people. The National Monument Service are here to help you with the nomination process, as are ICOMOS Ireland. ICOMOS International, which a lot of the speakers this morning were from, they're the ones reading the nominations and when they are presented, and there will be no Irish input into that. Remember also that it will be the state party via the minister who will nominate any new site, and that they are unlikely to nominate a site if they feel that the nomination would be likely to fail. Now, a few housekeeping rules. Those of you who are attending are interested in the royal sites are to stay in this room. The other 6 rooms are upstairs, so if you walk up to the top of the stairs, there are people there with lists to direct you to the rooms that you have expressed an interest in. So I hope you have good luck and that this process continues. Thank you very much.